Co-op?
No, I tried to say co-op, but I don't know if it came out as co-op. It's okay. If they make fun of me, then I can say that's how I talk. The Champions League final stage fixtures have already begun, and while it's always a team effort, it's hard to ignore some spectacular performances. For this CPR, we'll be talking about some of the best individuals in the Champions League. Not necessarily the best players left in the tournament, but rather the ones that are most important to their teams, the ones that are going to be instrumental in making sure their club advances to the next round. So get into the comments and let me know if you think I left someone out or if somebody should be higher on this list. But before we get into it, get excited, Copa fam. We are in search of US-based fans of 8 Latin American countries heading to Russia this summer to tell us their supporter story during the upcoming international break in March. There's a chance to win a smartphone and be featured right here on COPA90 US. So click the link below in the comments to enter. And guys, we get it from you guys all the time. You want to join the company, you want internships, you want to be part of this, you want to be on camera. This is your chance, so don't miss out. Starting at number 10, it's Kun Aguero. Fun fact, I traded jerseys with Aguero when we played against Argentina in the US back in 2008, but that's not why he's on this list. He's on this list because he's been fundamental to City's success in the Champions League. You could argue that it could be Kevin De Bruyne or Raheem Sterling, but I went with Kun Aguero because he's old Mr. Reliable. You can bench him and he's unfazed. He can go a game or two without even scoring a goal and he doesn't lose his form or his focus. He's just consistent. And with no real emerging goal scorer in the squad, it seems like the right choice. City are a shoo-in to reach the quarterfinals after a 4-0 thumping away to Basel in the first leg, but if they want to be the English team that wins the tournament, which clearly hasn't happened in a while, it'll depend heavily on Aguero's ability to create a bit of magic. Coming in at number 9, it's Samuel Umtiti. Again, I go back to last summer when everyone was laughing at this club, including myself. We laughed at the squad, we laughed at the transfers, we laughed at the board, but while we were laughing, they were working, and that work has paid off in the form of being consistently the best team in Europe this season. And while a big part of that is because of your boy Messi and your boy Suarez, I'd like to think that Barca's defense has been vital to the success as well, and Umtiti has been at the forefront of it all. Yes, PK is the guy that holds down the fort year after year, but Umtiti, at least in my opinion, has been the most important guy in that back line, giving up only 11 goals in the league so far and only 2 in 7 Champions League games, including 2 clean sheets against Juventus. He's yet to sign a new deal, and Mourinho has been given the green light to pay 50+ million for him, so if I'm Barca, or if I'm a Barca fan, I'm doing whatever it takes to secure a new deal for the French international. For number 8, we are going with Christian Eriksen. Before I talk about Eriksen, I do want to give a shout out to one of the most underrated players in the Premier League, Moussa Dembele, who has been in crazy form as of late and is really doing all the dirty work that allows Eriksen to cheat higher up the pitch and cause havoc on opposing defenses. Now, on to Eriksen. Aside from being a Dane, which gives him bonus points because I played a part of my career in Copenhagen, he's a world-class player. And if you know me, I save that word for very few people. Well, maybe on these shows I don't really save that word. I use it probably a lot. But at least in real life, I try to leave that name world-class for the top 10 or 20 players in the world at the moment. And I'm having trouble talking myself out of why Eriksen isn't a world-class player. While he's only got 9 goals and 7 assists across all competitions, many of those stats came against world-class teams. Goals against United, Everton, Real Madrid, and Juventus show he's fearless and more than capable of rising to the challenge of his opponents. With Spurs in a great position to advance due to a draw and 2 away goals, Eriksen will be just as important as Harry Kane in the second leg and any remaining matches in the competition. At number 7, you have Joshua Kimmich. Of course, when you think about the most important players on a team, you think Lewandowski or Mats Hummels even, but Joshua Kimmich is just as important because of his versatility. If it all went down, you'd have cover. James got a calf injury and you could easily get solid production from Kimmich in his place, even though you do have Robben or Ribéry. Of course, he's not necessarily the quality of those players who specialize in those positions, but he is capable of playing anywhere on the back line, midfield, and could even fill in up top in a bind. His biggest strength, though, in my opinion, is his free kicks. And in the Champions League, these margins are thin. And while they won 5-0 in leg 1 against a 10-man Besiktas, when they get deeper into the tournament, there will be fewer and fewer opportunities to score, and that's where Kimmich specializes. He's deadly from wide positions and has the ability to put Hummels, Boateng, Müller, and Lewandowski in dangerous positions in front of goal. At number 6, it's Lionel Messi. Should he be 1? Yes. Is he always seemingly number 1? Yes. So today I'm putting him at 6 so other players can get a little bit of that top 5 shine. He's finally broken the seal on scoring against Chelsea, making that now 101 goals that he's scored against 37 clubs in the Champions League, which is actually insane. So is he important? I'm not even going to answer that. He's likely the most important player ever, not just for his team, but in the history of the game. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists in this year's Champions League campaign, which isn't quite up to par with his league form, which is out of this world. But with a healthy cushion in the league and a road draw with an away goal against Chelsea, they should be able to handle business at the Camp Nou, and if and when they do, it'll probably be because of Lionel Messi. For number 5, and now more than ever, it's Paulo Dybala. He just came back from an injury against Torino a few days ago, but if you watch the Spurs match, you could feel that hole in the squad. That hole is usually filled, and in most cases, at a world-class level, by Paulo Dybala. Not only is he an attacking threat, but he's a key distributor as well. He's had more key passes than any other Juve player in the Champions League so far, with 19. The Bianconeri have been lacking a spark, and he could be just what they need to get past Tottenham, especially on the road and up against 2 away goals. But all of this is only relevant if the rest of the squad can muster up some magic to stop Harry Kane. Now that we've gotten through the first few, how am I doing? Disagree with any of these? If not, hit that thumbs up button for me, because if you do, guess what? I'm going to invite you to Pat's wedding. Even though I don't have the right to do that, I'm going to invite you to it. He's not getting married anytime soon, but that's a promise. You are all invited. At number 4, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Cue the Ronaldo haters in the comments section. Look, I know he struggled for much of the season, especially in the league. And when he is off, it's like Real Madrid are playing down a man. But here's a few fun facts. 1, he's the top scorer in the tournament with 11 goals, with the next closest behind him being Bobby Firmino on 7. Just like the group stages, he seemed relatively uninterested for large parts of the game against PSG, but somehow finished the game on 2 goals, albeit 1 from the penalty spot. His game has evolved over the years and will continue to evolve as he becomes less flashy and more efficient. You can say he's lucky, you can say whatever you want, but the reality is he was in the right place at the right time against PSG to get that tap in. Many strikers won't commit to making that run to get in that spot like he did, and guess what? He was rewarded for it. Coming in at number 3 is Robert Firmino. When Coutinho dipped out of Liverpool, the immediate question was, who will replace him? Who will replace that production? Who will produce on his level? And so far, the answer has been a combination of Mane, Salah, and more importantly, Robert Firmino. He's currently tied for 2nd in the Champions League Golden Boot race with Harry Kane on 7 goals, and what makes him so important is that he carries qualities that you don't always see from a striker. His movements are always at full speed, he commits to defending high up the pitch and forcing turnovers in bad spots, and when you combine that with the current form of Mane and Salah, you can see exactly why Liverpool are averaging 4 goals per game, and are currently on 28 goals after 7 games. You know, you guys get the math. 4 goals per game, 7 games, that'd be 28 goals. You get it. At number 2, Harry Kane. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Tottenham as a whole are good enough to win the Champions League, but that doesn't matter. On paper, it doesn't matter. Depth doesn't matter. Well, all that does, but when you have Harry Kane, it doesn't. This is just how important he is to the club. If he scores, the team typically plays better and increases their chances of winning. It's also math. We're learning this theme here. And in Leg 2, they will need that against Juventus. Harry Kane, alongside Eriksen, who was mentioned earlier, were the catalyst to the comeback that earned them a road draw and 2 away goals against Juventus. He's the top scorer in Europe on 23 goals, and he's tied for 2nd in the Champions League behind Ronaldo, and him and Eriksen seem to have this special little connection in front of goal that you could only dream of if you were playing co-op on FIFA. And for number 1, it is Neymar. What happens when you get transferred for almost $250 million? You get given the expectations of a player worth $250 million. Even though that level just, quite frankly, doesn't exist. We have Neymar at number 1 because, well, he is said to be the heir apparent to the Ballon d'Or once the Messi-Ronaldo saga comes to a close someday, if it ever does. If you watch Neymar in the league and the Champions League this year, he's been insane. For the first 20 minutes of the Real Madrid tie, you could see how good he is and how important he is, the way he moved through the lines at ease, and it looked like no one from Real Madrid really wanted to match up against him, showing just how important he is to PSG's success. Cavani might be the glory boy of the club, breaking records and all that stuff, but without Neymar and his already 6 goals and 3 assists, PSG have no chance to win the Champions League, let alone survive this round of 16. So guys, that is my list. How did I do? Have I upset you? Have I made you happier? Either way, get down in the comments and let me know. Let's get this conversation going. I'll be in the comments when this video goes up and we can discuss it even further. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. We'll see you guys later.